Hi guys! Okay, I still need to get a few things set up and I'm going to do that. I don't exactly know how this works, but we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna totally figure this out. Okay, let's see. Let's put it up on Twitter. See what you guys are saying. Because otherwise, this is just gonna be a hot mess. Okay. Let's open a live chat. Yay! Okay, so this is kind of sort of working by net. Yay! We got people. I love you guys. Thank you for putting up with me. So I am going to attempt to make these kind of things a regular event. Preferably when I have time, probably on Sunday. That's usually when I can just sit down and maybe do this for an hour or so. And I figured a good way to start all of this is with my new Crayola brush tips. I got these for Christmas and I'm kind of excited to use them. So I want to do a color chart so I know what the colors are and then start coloring in this beautiful little coloring book. And at the same time, I'm going to talk to you guys because I like to multitask. Yay! I'm assuming that you guys can actually hear me right now. Otherwise, I'm just randomly flailing my hands about and assuming that things are happening. Can you guys hear me? Maybe? Maybe? Either that or I'm just talking to myself. It's fine. Yay! Okay. You guys can actually hear me. That's good. I love it. So I have a blank piece of paper here that I'm going to use, so I'll get this out of the way. As you can see, the mess of my desk right now. I like doing things. Okay, so now these Duel-Tip markers threw me off at first because they're actually two different colors in one pen. I'm not sure how I feel that because I would love it if the same color for both tips, but I'm not gonna be picky. That was just me dropping the lid. You're welcome. But otherwise, I'm kind of excited about these. Okay, more than kind of excited, like really excited. Now my guess is at some point, one or more of the cats are gonna decide that they need love, so they'll probably show up. And if things go wonky at that point, I apologize. Okay, so where should we start? We should probably start at red. So this is the brush tip side. And then this is the bullet tip side. See how they're different colors? It's just, I don't know why they decided to do that. I find that odd. But this one is red. And then this one is scarlet. So what did you guys all get for Christmas that you are super excited about using or reading? Or, oh my gosh, guys, this one's dried out. I got a dud. What makes me sad? Well, that's a fail. Well, the other side works. And that one was goldenrod, or golden yellow. If I could spell. Oh my goodness. Let's start that over. Like, how could that even dried out? I just opened the packet, but look at that. It's all gross and Erg. Ooh, Shayla, what kind of trip did you go on? Oh yeah, no, never mind. That was a silly question. But yes, share with us about your trip. They could have sold me a bad batch, but I mean, it was saran wrapped and completely sealed. Hopefully that's the only one that's a dud. Okay, and this one's the yellow. That's like highlighter color. I don't know exactly where I would use that, but we'll go with it. And this is Star Bright, appropriate. You guys get to see my wonderful handwriting. It's stellar. I'm probably gonna have to redo this color chart at some point because it is an epic mess right now. And then we have green. Excuse me, jungle green. And then this one is seafoam green. Foam green. Ooh, Arteza pencils? I don't think I've ever heard of those ones. Pine green and kiwi. Ooh, I like that one. I'm not a big green user. I should probably get more into green, but I have a terrible habit of sticking to my pinks and blues and teals. I guess teal is kind of a green, but something about those colors, those are always the first ones that I am drawn to. And so I usually start a lot of my coloring pages with those colors. See, how are those, why are those two colors in the same marker? I don't understand the logic behind some of this. I mean, I guess they're both kind of a blue-green. This is Robin Egg and Turquoise Surf. See, those look the same. Robin's egg. Oh, see, this is why most of the time I do not do this while live streaming, because April and making things pretty on the fly is not a real thing. That and me and spelling are not friends at all. Okay, and then we got blue and sky blue. Look at that. Plus it is hard to write one-handed. So I'm trying to make sure the paper doesn't go flying away on me. Okay, now for the second tray. This one is Azure. And then we have Blue Bolt. Ooh, I like that one. Granted, it looks pretty close to blue. We're color swatching together. I love it. Part of the hype about getting new utensils for me is creating color swatches. So usually I start out with this kind of messy swatching, and then I'll group them together and I'll make a digital version on my computer and print it off and color it in, because I'm a nerd like that. And I like things that I'll probably keep around for a long time. At least that's the hope. which is why I have some of my color swatch videos up with some of my color charts. It's one of my favorite things to do with my coloring utensils is to make color swatches. Purple Mountain. Plum and Purple Mountain. But it's really hard to do that when you've got a color set that doesn't number or name their colors. And that is probably one of my pet peeves. It's usually something that happens with the cheaper utensils. But at the same time, why? Why? You're making special caps and bodies for them. Why not just print some random name on it just for April's sanity? Flamingo Pink. We're getting into my pinks. And this one's raspberry and coral red. Ooh, that's a pretty color. I have several color chart books from like my Copic markers and things, but since I don't have all of the Copics, I surprisingly haven't bought, what, 360 some odd markers. I know, right? It is weird to look at the full set of colors when I don't have them, and then all of a sudden there's a color there that I'm like, oh, I'll use this. Wait a minute, I don't have it, which is part of the reason why I end up making my own color charts. But a lot of times it's based off of like the color books and things they already have out. But I am one of those people in the back of my mind, I'm like, why don't you own all of them? You could own all of them. We should do this. And then sane people in my life are like, you probably don't need all of those markers, especially since some of them are pretty much the same. But it's just something about having them all. Wild Orchard. Parrot Pink and Carnation Pink. We went pink and then we went back to purple. Unless those are in the wrong spot in my tray, which I feel like they are. I'm going to move them for now. But see, then we have this purple, or this pink right here, that is just out of place. I don't know. I don't know. Oh man, did I just, yes. I put that back without labeling it. Almost lost my place. And then we got our dark chocolate and our brown. Dark chocolate sounds promising. It's almost greeny, or is that just me? It's like a green brown. I'm just flinging that cap all over the place. That's fine. I'm currently the only one at the house right now, which is why I decided that I would see, this is why I shouldn't talk and write. Which is why I decided to do this. And the air just turned on. So this is an epic fail. Only me and you guys know. That was the plan anyways. Just all of the internet can forever see this. And then gray. Okay, there we go. I lost my cap somewhere, but that's fine. This is a Stedler. Stadler. I don't know how to say some of these company names, so if I ever biff it, I'm sorry. But I like these ones because they're dry safe. So I can forget the lid somewhere and come back and they're still okay. Unlike, obviously, these Crayola markers, that will not fly. There's something about that fine tip. I use them for my bullet journal as well. They're perfect for any kind of planner. Okay, so now that we have the color chart done, we can get into the fun part of coloring in Doodle Invasion. I'm really excited. I haven't sat down and just colored nonstop for quite a while. And I decided that I wanted to start on this page. I figured it would be a good page to get all of the colors used. But we have to actually be able to see the color chart. I don't know. What color should I start out with? Name any of the colors, guys, and I'll pull them. Ooh, red. Okay, we've got red and coral. Do I remember which one that was attached to? It was attached to raspberry. So we got the red and the coral. Ooh, and the raspberry. We'll get those two together. We'll start out with those colors. Is there any other colors you guys want to start out with? I'm gonna stand here and do a little dance. Da, da, da. Okay, green. Which of the greens do we want to use? Turquoise surf. There we go. Okay, kiwi. I like the kiwi too. Okay, we'll start out with those colors. Okay, and so a good one, we can probably pair the coral and the red together. That might make a nice gradient. So we'll start with that. See how that goes. Okay. Probably start with a lighter color. Bring that down. And then I'm totally gonna lose one of the caps. Unintentionally, of course. Maybe those were too close together. Yeah, there wasn't enough variant enough for that to work. You can kind of see it, but yeah, you got kind of orangey right here and more of a red down there. Ooh, I wonder if, since we have the raspberry in my hand, if we pull some of the raspberry up. Kind of like that. So then we got dark, medium, and light. Ah, I like how that looks. It's cute. I like it. My Christmas was okay. I got to go up and see my immediate family and my grandparents. Jeff was supposed to come with me, but unfortunately he got sick, and so he wasn't able to come. So that was a bit of a bummer, because it's just not the same when everybody's not there. But otherwise, it was a lot of fun. And then I got the whole week off because work closed down for the week between New Year's and Christmas. I would like to say that I got a lot done in that time, but mostly I was making my wedding invites. It's pretty much how my New Year's, Christmas in between was spent. Got no complaints. Got to send those out on Thursday, and I think people are starting to receive them. Which means that the wedding is gonna be happening soon. Every once in a while I get nervous about it. I've also been thinking about maybe on one of these live streams that I build some paper flowers, because I have a whole heck of a lot of those that I need to do. Oops, I got a little fuzzy on my marker. It might be eating the paper a little bit with these markers since they're water-based. I have no rhyme or reason to which little creatures that I am choosing right now. I'm just kind of going nuts. Kind of like how the three of those colors are going together. So what did the rest of you guys do for the holiday season? $400 coloring books? That is impressive. I have maybe, how many do I have? Maybe 15? Somewhere between 15 and 20. But I just started coloring about a year ago. And there are a whole bunch that I would love to get my hands on. And I'm sure if I let myself go crazy, I would go crazy. Hence why I have over 1,000 books on my bookshelf. I don't do things in moderation. And just looking at my marker collection in general, yeah, I don't do things by halves. Ooh, new tripod. That sounds fun. I always love playing with new technology and new toys. I guess it's more of a new toy as, let's call them. Dun, dun, dun. But yeah, taking Christmas, New Year's, holiday, whatever it is for you guys, taking it slow, doing some reading, doing some filming. I can completely understand that. I did Vlogmas this year, guys, and that was insane. I haven't planned out that many videos before, and just actually getting them done and then edited and getting a video up a day, it was fun. But now that it's over, I'm out of ideas of what I should do. It's like, well, I've done that and I got most of the backlog of things that I wanted to do done, so what do I do next? Hence why I'm like, let's try a live show. So now the real question is, how much are these bleeding through on the back? That's not too bad. I am being very heavy-handed right now, just because I wasn't sure how these would all blend together. But they're doing all right. I think it's because I chose colors that were somewhat the same. Well, okay, correction. You guys chose colors that were somewhat the same. I'm trying to think of a way of maybe getting the teal and the kiwi to blend together. Probably have to do maybe like the seafoam green in between. And that might get me a nice gradient. I like coloring with gradients. I feel like it gives it some kind of depth. Gradients are when you move from one color to another. So here I'm going from this raspberry color to this coral color. So you have the red in between, that's a gradient. Because it's not one solid color. It slowly shifts into another. It's kind of like an ombre, but an ombre is usually within one color tone. But an ombre is essentially a gradient. I think we should move on to doing some of the green colors. I will leave these out because we will probably come back to these because I really, really like those colors. Oh, it's been super cold here too. At one point we were hitting negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit, but I know all of you guys out in the Northeast right now are getting what swept through here, which is never fun. This time, it seems insane all over the country right now, the things that are going on. Okay, so we got the kiwi, we got the turquoise surf, and then I wanted to add the seafoam green. I've heard good things about Holbein's. They're supposedly really, really good, but I'm only just getting into colored pencils. Oh my gosh, I can't get the lid off now. Ugh. And there's something about markers. I love using markers. I think it's because it has such a graphic, strong appearance once you're done with it. And with colored pencils, you have to work more to get there. But I am starting to try to use colored pencils. It doesn't always get to the place where I want it to be. Yuck, I didn't realize that Utah was not getting quite what it was supposed to get. Part of me is hoping that all of this weather blows itself out so that in April it's beautiful and gorgeous and it has wonderful weather for my wedding. That's what I keep telling myself, that if it's this bad now, that means it's gonna blow itself out and it's gonna be gorgeous. That's the plan. I'm sure somewhere God is laughing at me. See, I like how that turned out. I'm totally going to get all of these markers confused, but that's okay. That's a turquoise. I'm gonna have to read these because otherwise the tips are too similar looking that I can't tell what is what. I can't tell you how much I love Kerby Rosanes' work because it's just so stinking odd. And I love odd things. It's just, yeah. I just like Doodle. I like Doodle concepts. I have not. I have wanted to, but it's one of those things that every time I sit down at the computer, I completely space it. I should just, at some point, just grab my phone and just do it. But yes, I do want his new one that is coming out. I will always and forever pick up everything he puts out. He did say, Kerby did say he was going to try something different. So I'm not all surprised that it's a different thing than his Mythomorphia, Imagimorphia, and What's the other one? Can't think of it off the top of my head right now. But I can understand that, because if you do the same thing over and over again, it gets a little tiring and you want to try something new. Hence why I brought coloring into my channel. And seeing how it's going and how my live shows go. And if this is a format that you guys enjoy, I will definitely continue to do it. I am no pro at it. I am not even used to talking continuously like this, but that's okay. I can make it up as I go, right? And then you guys can help me along the way. Tell me when I'm making things way too confusing, or if there's something else I should try. And I did put a poll out on Twitter on which platforms you guys would prefer live streamings on. And YouTube, of course, was an overwhelming winner. And then there was also Instagram. So I might do short snippets on Instagram. I don't know. Still playing around. Nothing set in stone. Okay, I have to ask a serious question, though. How many of you guys use Snapchat? I'm still trying to figure out Snapchat, and I think that might show my age a little bit, but I've been trying to use Snapchat in a way that makes sense, but how do you guys use Snapchat? Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Snapchat either, but I'm trying, because I feel like if I stop trying new things, that's when I become old. And I don't want to become old. I'm going to be hip, like all the young kids. Pretend like I didn't say that at all. I'm so awkward. I'm really liking these colors together. You guys did good. And I actually like the reds and the greens together too. I think that is working pretty well. So I might just run with these sets of colors for this whole thing, at least until I hit a point where it doesn't quite work anymore, and then maybe add in some grays so that these colors still pop. So that way I don't have an overwhelming amount of color on this. Okay, I lost. There we go. What do you guys think? I have two younger brothers, and apparently one of my brothers has gone back to grad school, and they use Snapchat a lot to communicate back and forth. And so my brother has really started using Snapchat, and I don't know why I find that weird, but I do. Because I've always been the one in the family who was really connected to social media. I was always the one on the computer. I was that awkward kid down in the basement using AOL to talk to people. I was on forums. I was that person on the internet. I had a YouTube channel in 2006, if that tells you anything right there. So having my younger brother using Snapchat more than me, it just feels weird. Yeah, the tripod might help a little bit with that, but that's weird if they're seeing the distortion but you're not. It's like, can you guys even see me coloring right now? I feel like I'm really down in the corner. I got this. If I could explain the setup I have right now for what I am doing, I have an iPad up in front of me with your guys' chat going, and then I am filming on my iPhone on a selfie stick that is attached to a camera tripod that I'm counterbalancing with two like huge beanbag frogs. And then I've got two lights over here that are pointed downward that I'm trying to make sure that you guys can actually see what I'm doing. I had fun trying to figure out how I was going to set all of this up. And anytime you do see a coloring video on my channel, I have filmed it with my iPhone, because right now what I film all my other videos with is a Rebel 3T, or is it a 3TI? I've had it for 7 years or so, and it's a beast. It won't die, and I'm okay with that, but it only films for 12 minutes at a time. So if I want to do these long videos where I then speed it up in post, then I have to film with my camera, or film with my iPhone. And while the quality isn't quite the same, I think it works. I think I'll color one more of these. I have been thinking about getting a new iPhone so that the quality is a little better. But part of me can't imagine paying the prices they want for the new ones, because of course, if I'm going to get a new camera, I want to get the 10, but I can't justify $1,000 for a new phone. It just doesn't seem right. But I know it's Apple, and I've been on Apple for pretty much all of my life. I grew up with both PC and a Mac. Thank you, Papa. It's all your fault. And of course, since I am a designer, I have a Apple at work as well. And so I'm pretty much invested in the ecosystem. But I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, if I hadn't, I'm also a photographer, so I had like 3 softbox lights that were just floating around the house when I started filming, and so I've been using those. And then my roommate, she's also a photographer, so we got another set of softbox lights to go back in the studio, because I of course stole the ones we were using. So I've been lucky that way. I've always been invested in this kind of stuff. But if I hadn't had these, yeah, I'd be using a bunch of lights and maybe putting a sheet of paper to soften the light a little bit so that you get more of that dispersed light rather than that direct light. Okay, I think he down here. Now, I don't dislike these markers so far. I mean, besides the one orange being dry. Not that I use orange all that often. I really don't. That's probably the last color. Yellow and orange. I never really use those two colors unless I need them for a specific reason. Otherwise, yeah, I live in the blues and the pinks and the reds and the purples and the greens. Oh, I love using natural light. Natural light is what I started photographing with, especially when I do the the dogs at the shelter. That is all natural light. I don't use any lights because I have tried to use lights at the shelter in the past, but it doesn't end well when you have dogs that aren't always house trained. So I have had several lights be peed on before. That, and sometimes they just get overexcited and there's the possibility of them knocking lights over and them shattering. I've only ever shattered one light before, and that was when I was doing Santa Paws one year. And it wasn't even a dog I could blame it on. I was putting the lights away. I was folding them down and I biffed it. Totally shattered. And these lights, the bulbs in these lights are like this big. They're huge. And of course, they aren't something that you can just throw in the trash can. You have to deposit them at the right facilities and things like that because of the mercury. And they're not cheap lights either, which is unfortunate. But I do use natural light also with the new guinea pig photos that I am doing for my Instagram, because it doesn't really make sense to get out lights for that tiny little space. And so, since my setup is right next to the window, when it's light out, I will snap a picture of what I'm currently reading with either Jacob or Wilhelm. Usually it is Wilhelm. He seems to be the one that lets me corral him into doing what I want more than Jacob. Jacob is a beast. He is the one that rules the roost right now. If he doesn't want to do it, he's not going to do it. Oh, thank you. I've had fun doing my Instagram pictures. And I wanted to try something new, and since I had the boys, I've been dying to do photos with them, and I've just kind of got them in a spot where they're comfortable with being outside of their cage and dealing with me. And so I'm going to get them used to coming out for photos. And then maybe in the future, if they'll let me, there might be outfits involved. So if you like seeing hairless guinea pigs in outfits, I say check out my Instagram, which for any of you guys who don't know, is made on. So yes, I have some of the girls' old sweaters and things that they fit into as a kitten, but don't fit into anymore. And I'm like, what am I gonna do with these? I keep them because I don't know when I'm getting new animals or not, and they can be reused, so I still have them. And a lot of them are just old socks that I've cut holes into. So that might be happening in the future if you guys, you know, want to check that out. But I don't know how soon in the future that'll actually happen, because I don't want to stress them out. They don't need that. Oh, speaking of kitties, I believe someone's talking to me right now. See if she actually comes downstairs. They don't like the basement right now because it's cold. Ann Siggers? I've never heard of her. I'll have to look her up after this. What kind of cats does she have? I truly enjoy all kinds of animals, and if I was not allergic to cats, I'd probably be that crazy cat lady. So it's a good thing that I'm allergic. Okay, I think we'll color one more and then we'll switch back to green again. Oh, hi, baby girl. I know. You're probably gonna come say hi in the most inappropriate way possible, aren't you? If you hear a loud crash, it's because she's jumped on the table. Kinji, Pee-wee, and Freddy. That is adorable. Those are perfect names for cats. I like it. Now, the real question I have about doing this live streaming is I'm talking to you guys in chat right now, but chat doesn't stay with the recordings. So sometimes I wonder about the future when I'm looking back at these videos. Is there something you want, baby girl? Yeah, life is hard. Oh, here she comes. Yeah, are you gonna come say hi? Or are you just gonna knock over the iPad? We're going for knocking over the iPad. Okay, bye. Maybe she won't come up into the feed. She's just gonna be needy. That was, by the way, if you could hear the whining, I just kind of started talking to her and I don't even know if you guys can pick that up on audio. But this usually happens when I sit down to film and I'm by myself in the house and there's no one to distract them. Either one or the other ends up coming down here to join the fun. Also, for random fact Sunday, since I'm here, Fia, full name is Theodosia Elaine Grace, because a hairless cat needs a regal name. And I thought it sounded pretty. Let's see, I think we need something here. Oh, she's gone back upstairs. I've thought about letting my cats just take over one day and just doing something weird. And putting a video together like that. I love those kind of shows where the cat just takes on human qualities. I don't know why. Because the internet is for cats, basically. It's kind of why I did the ugly Christmas sweater video for Vlogmas. Sometimes I do wonder if I am turning into the crazy cat lady, and then other times I don't care. I have accepted my fate. There are worse things to be in life, right? Color tubers! I love how there's like different names for different parts of the YouTube community. Ah, thank you, Grace. I think that is your name, Grace? I'm assuming because of Grace's coloring corner that your name is Grace. And if that's wrong, please correct me. So what I'm paranoid sometimes when I'm talking with chat because I don't technically know people's names. I want to use your names, but I don't know what they are all the time. So I apologize if I ever just come out with a random name that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Oh, nice. Well, I love the name Grace's Coloring Corner. What else can we talk about? Oh, you guys will be so proud of me. I actually got my Christmas decorations down this weekend, even though I really didn't want to. And now my living room is really bare. I don't realize how much room that Christmas tree takes up until I take it down. Oh, yeah. The first couple of my videos, I've actually thought about doing this because at the end of January, I will be on YouTube, at least the booktube part of YouTube, for 3 years. So I'm thinking about doing a reaction video to my first video, which was the booktube newbie tag. I've been thinking about doing that for my 3-year anniversary. And then I can just see how I've changed from then till now. Because I don't think I've stayed the same in 3 years. I know my hair has definitely gone through some serious transformations. But sadly, my hairstylist moved out of the state, so it doesn't happen nearly as often as I want it to anymore. Makes me sad. Because I miss doing all of the crazy things. Plus, I've been told that I need to grow my hair out for the wedding. But after the wedding, who knows? It's completely open game. Oops. That was a teal. Oh man, I missed the kiwi, didn't I? It's okay. We can fix this. It's fine. We got this. This is usually what happens when I color. I tend to biff it somewhere. That's fine though. Doesn't have to be perfect. I do this to relax, so. Whew. Where can we add some more green? Oh, we can go right here. This is where the fun stuff starts happening because you've got so many colored in. Where do you put the next one? Because I'd like to keep it evenly dispersed, but there we go. I guess I can start doing green ones next to all of the red ones, and then vice versa. Is this the right color? No, that's the turquoise. Kind of like that. Here we go. I'm trying to think of something else that I can babble with you guys about. Most of the time when I'm coloring, I will have either an audiobook on or I will be watching Netflix on my computer or possibly on the iPad, depending. Just to have something kind of going on in the background. Depending on the complexity of whatever I'm coloring, because sometimes I can lose myself in the complexity of what the page is. Right now, we've been running through a rewatch of Friends, mainly because that is mundane enough that I don't have to pay close attention to. But, I don't know. I'm actually currently looking for something to watch on Netflix. I've heard good things about Dark Mirror, so I might be starting that one soon. But a lot of times I really enjoy watching K-dramas. Like a lot. But you can't color and do K-dramas at the same time. It doesn't work because I have to read the subtitles. I did see the preview for Series of Unfortunate Events, the second season. I know that it's going to be a while before it actually comes out, but I'm excited for that. Even though that is probably the video on my channel for the book series that I get the most hate on. I've heard of The Crown. I haven't checked it out yet. It is something that my roommate is interested in watching, so that might actually happen. So I'll keep that one in mind. Is this one Kiwi? Losing track of my markers. Okay. Huh. I will definitely have to keep that in mind then. Oh, I'm sorry about the sniffling. It's that time of year, unfortunately. I keep telling myself that I am not getting a cold. I don't have time for a cold. Does anybody have time for a cold, honestly? Do you guys have any cold prevention remedies that you guys usually lean towards? I drink green tea like crazy, and then I have a lot of ramen and pho. It's usually my go-to method of trying to head this stuff off. Okay, I lost track of what I was doing. It's Sunday. Theraflu. Okay. So if I continue to do these kinds of videos, what kind of coloring books do you guys usually enjoy? I mean, I've got my stack of coloring books, but I never say no to being introduced to more, which is dangerous. Like I said, I don't do things by half. Sorry, that was totally a text message. Put that somewhere that doesn't actually vibrate the table as much. Let's see. Now I completely lost track of what I was doing. Well, we can switch back to the red for a little while, but I might start wrapping this up a little bit. I think we've been at this for, oops, that's the wrong cap, for a little over an hour. Yeah, we'll probably wrap it up here because I don't want this to go on too long, and I know you guys have other things you probably want to do for the day, but I think this worked out pretty well. If you have any suggestions for what I should do in the future for these live shows, or if you think this worked out wonderfully, let me know. I really, truly enjoyed hanging out with you guys and just doing this for a little while and testing out these wonderful markers. See if I can put them back in the right place. We got the red there. So, and I want to thank you guys all for joining me. This was fun. And I call this successful. I may try to do this every Sunday. So if you want to come back and, you know, check out, maybe I'll continue on with this one. Maybe I'll start another one. I guess it all depends on what you guys want to do and what's currently going on. And I heart your beautiful faces. Bye.